Hello, my name is Hunter, the movie reviewing pony, because when it comes to cinema, humans cannot be trusted. When you hear the words movie commentary, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Okay, you're close. No. When it comes to movie commentary, there's one show that truly does it right. One show that purely existed for that one purpose. One show that practically defined movie commentary. I am, of course, talking about the ever-fantastic TV series from 1988, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, here's a show that kicked ass. Given to us by Joel Hodgson, Mystery Science Theater 3000 was the very thing that defined movie commentary. It was funny, original, charming, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Running for a solid 11 seasons, it accumulated an impressive 197 episodes. And people absolutely loved it. And today, we're gonna take a look at it. Well, I for one am very excited, so let's not waste any time. Let's take a look into the not-too-distant future with Mystery Science Theater 3000. Actually, before we get to the not-too-distant future, we have to go back to 1987 with a little channel called KTMA. The station was only moderately successful despite a massive marketing campaign, so they decided to take a shot at locally produced comedy shows. Production manager Jim Mallon needed to fill a hole in the Sunday night lineup, so he talked to his contacts in the local comedy community and ended up meeting Joel Hodgson. After a lunch meeting, Hodgson created Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, the pilot was never actually aired, but you can still find the clip floating around on the internet. I managed to find a screen pointing video that's actually a pretty decent quality. It was quickly approved for 13 episodes and premiered at 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day 1988. Also, I'd like to apologize in advance for the video quality. A lot of these are old and some pony taped over the first 3 episodes that I had. Seriously, this looks like a 3D autograph. But enough about the video quality. Critical reception to the show was so great that its initial run of 13 episodes was extended to 21 episodes. And this became popular fast. I mean, before the first season ended, it had a fan club, it had a live screening with a crowd of over 600 people and everything. This was popular at the time. But alas, this success was not very long-lived. KTMA was forced to cancel Mystery Science Theater 3000 and later declared bankruptcy. The episodes they ran with weren't aired nationally, but they're still considered part of the show's story. Yeah, there's a story behind this. Two mad scientists, Dr. Clayton Forster, played by Tracy Berleo, and his sidekick, Dr. Lawrence Earnhardt, played by Josh Weinstein, launched Joel Robinson, who's played by Joel Hodgson, into space and forced him to watch budget movies in order to measure how much bad movie watching it takes to drive a person crazy in order to pinpoint the perfect budget movie to use as a weapon for Dr. Forster's scheme of world domination. Is it just me, or does this sound like something that Asylum would do? Of course, I don't have to explain any of this because it's all explained in the show's kick-ass-tastic theme song.
In the not-too-distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel, not too different from you or me. He worked at Gizmonic Institute, just another face in a red jumpsuit. He did a good job cleaning up the place, but his boss didn't like him, so they shot him into space.
Yeah, good luck trying to get that one out of your head. So basically, Joel is stuck in space aboard a dog bone-shaped ship named the Satellite of Love. But of course, he's not alone. I would explain this, but the theme song does that too!
Roll call Cabot, Gypsy,
Hi, girl.
Tom Servo,
What a cool guy.
Crow.
With Gypsy and Tom Servo being voiced by Josh Weinstein and Crow being voiced by Trace Bialo. Cabot only spoke once, it was voiced by Kevin Murphy. Now, I realize I got completely off track, and by now you're all probably screaming, but Hunter! If they ran for 197 episodes, how is it canceled after the first season? Well, it wasn't really canceled. KTMA just had to declare bankruptcy. They couldn't keep the show. So, as it was nearing its end of its run at KTMA, the creators used a best-of reel to pitch the concept to a new channel, the Comedy Channel, which would later go on to become Comedy Central. And so, it became one of the very first shows that the Comedy Channel picked up. New sets were built, the robots were remade, and a new doorway sequence was shot. They also changed the writing style. Each show was carefully scripted ahead of time from this point forward. Yeah, that's right. The entire first season was ad-libbed. And it was still a success. Everything in the show was fun, but the main attraction was the movie commentary portions of the show. Now, I don't mean just a couple clips of it so that I can fill an hour-long time slot. No, I mean the entire freaking movie. This show ran for a 2-hour time slot. They commented over some pretty infamous films, too, and others they made infamous. Teenagers from Outer Space, Pod People, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, even Manos the Hands of Fate, one of the most infamous films of all time. As you can probably tell, people didn't come to this show for a free movie. They came for the commentary. Head writer Mike Nelson created some of the funniest jokes, which are still funny to this day.
This is the song written for the train chase. This is the chase, Rocky and Ken. He tried to kill me with a forklift. Olay!
That one should have become a meme. They said it enough for it to become a meme.
This is the song about the Buckets 3 crew. They're gonna die from all the heat. He tried to kill me with a forklift. He tried to kill me with a forklift. They'll try to kill him with a forklift. He tried to kill me with a forklift. He tried to kill me with a forklift. Don't try to kill us with a forklift.
I, for one, am okay with this obtaining meme status. This and Twilight Sparkle's Balloon.
It's Twilight Sparkle's Balloon!
Anyway, at the end of its second season, the Comedy Channel evolved into Comedy Central, and the show got approved for a third season because of good ratings. This is also where things started getting a little sketchy. Not only was the set remade once again, but Josh Weinstein left the show, leaving no one to voice Tom Servo and no one to play Larry. So, they brought in Kevin Murphy for Tom Servo, and we introduced our new character, Frank, played by Frank Conniff. Yeah, pretty much everyone in this show just goes by their regular name. Frank took over as Dr. Einhardt's lackey, and they called themselves the Mads. He would also take part in what the show calls the Invention Exchange, which is where the mad scientist would invent something, and then Joel would show something off. Some of these were a bit crueler than most.
Tragic moments figurines. Sure, Grandma will cry when she sees her lovely gift, but for very different reasons. This first one is entitled Sparky's Last Romp, and these beautiful handcrafted figurines depict little Billy's first hard lesson in life, plus what happens when a dog teases a cow way past the breaking point.
Thank you, Frank. This striking hand-painted lamp is titled By the Fire's Glow, and it depicts the tragic occurrence when you light off a Roman candle in the rumpus room.
This little beauty here is the flagship of our collection. It's entitled I'll Get It, and it depicts what should have been a really fun game of kickball gone tragically wrong.
Others in the collection include He Raises a Hand in Anger, World's Deadest Grandma, and Dad's Liquid Breakfast.
That episode got them some interesting calls. Despite the cast changes and sometimes crueler than necessary jokes, the show continued to run and it gained more popularity than ever as they continued to riff on movie after movie. Cave Dwellers, Gamera, Pod People, Gamera vs. Baragon, Stranded in Space, Time of the Apes, Daddy-O, Gamera vs. Chaos, The Amazing Colossal Man, Fugitive Alien, If It Conquered the World, it goes on and on and on. Unfortunately, there came some rough patches and, well, all good things must come to an end. You'll die, your pet cat will die, even I will die eventually, but that's not what we're focusing on right now. Halfway through season 5, Joel left the show. There were disagreements with producer Jim Mallon for creative control of the show, but what strikes me the weirdest is that his other reason for leaving was his dislike of being on camera. I don't believe that for a second. You are 5.5 seasons into the show, and now you're stating that you're uncomfortable being on camera? The show's more popular than ever. They're nearing their 100th episode. And you're saying that you're uncomfortable on camera now? Okay, you went nearly 100 episodes being uncomfortable on camera the whole time. Sir, all of my respect. All of it. Just take all of it. You see this guy? This guy right here, this guy has balls. But unfortunately, this show doesn't have a main character. So, what are they gonna do? They can't possibly continue the series now. What could they possibly do to continue My faith in your race has been restored!
Hi everyone, welcome to the Satellite of Love. I'm Mike, this is Tom Servo, and this is Pro T Robot.
Episode 513 saw the introduction of Mike Nelson, played by head writer Mike Nelson. Yeah, he plays himself. Reactions to this were something like this.
Panic! Panic! Joe! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Meanwhile, all of the other people who are sane in the world reacted something like this. Our director's reaction was something like this.
Great.
Everyone's reaction was not unwarranted. Most of the time when a show changes its cast members, it is almost always hated. It is almost always canceled after one season. It is almost always hated upon. But actually, the opposite happened. The show gained popularity. People liked Mike more than they liked Joel. Which still confuses me to this day. This is one of the few shows that I have yet to find every single flaw in, yet it still manages to succeed. And they didn't leave anything out. Character redesigns, set redesigns, character changes, voice acting changes, everything! People still loved it to death. Why? Because it was still funny. People still kept coming back for the humor. Change out all the cast members or anything. People just kept coming back for the humor. It's just a ton of fun to watch. In fact, the theme song states that too.
If you're wondering how he eats and breathes and other science facts, just repeat to yourself, it's just a show. I should really just relax.
You didn't come for the story of the show, you came for the commentary, and that's what sold it. And so, Season 6 was approved. It was sometime during this season that they had phased out the invention exchange, because they stated that the inventing thing was really Joel's thing, and Mike was really not a tinkerer. Personally, I think it's because they got some calls from mothers who were really pissed off. But Season 6 went by, and unfortunately, they went through yet another cast change. Episode 624, Frank Conniff unfortunately left the show. Fans referred to this date as the death of TV's Frank.
Wow! So Torgo is actually working with two completely reconstructed knees. That is dedication. Amazing!
Frank is gone.
Well, that's amazing too!
Fans would have reacted poorly to this and stating that they're all in denial, but the show quickly wrapped up loose ends.
And you were kind of mean, so they,
Well, there was a fortune cookie which foretold something about something, and then, well, Gabby Hayes is heavily involved.
Anyway, he's not coming back.
Sorry.
So, they gave him a big send-off, and he left the show. And so, they were forced to continue on without him into Season 7. Season 7 only ran for about 6 episodes, but we got new redesigns and...
Did I tell you my mother's here?
Season 7 was the first appearance of Pearl, played by Mary Jo Fell. Unfortunately, her stand-in for Frank didn't last very long. The season only lasted 6 episodes, and Trace Bialo was leaving the show afterward. And unfortunately, more bad news came around. Despite the show being more popular than ever, Comedy Central announced that it would no longer continue running Mystery Science Theater 3000.
You can't do that. We've done everything you've ever asked. We watched every bad movie you sent up here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Bye-bye.
Now, as a film critic, I'd be a total idiot not to touch base on Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. After Season 7 in 1996, Best Brains and Universal Pictures came together to create a full feature-length film. It has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes and follows the same format as the show counterpart. The difference here being that the segments in between weren't just limited to one room, they actually moved throughout the satellite. I won't be doing a full movie review, but I can safely assure you that it is alright. It's since been released on DVD and Blu-ray, and Laserdisc, oddly enough. They even commented over the credits. Check it out if you can find it. Unfortunately, this was the last we saw of Trace Bialo, which left us with no one to voice Crow and no one to play Dr. Clayton. But, since Comedy Central dropped the show, the fanbase staged a writing campaign to keep the show alive. This led to the Sci-Fi Channel picking up the series. Season 8 premiered in 1997 on February 1st. To serve as the villain, they brought in Pearl. Now, I know what you're thinking, but the show never gave a good description as to what she is. Theme song.
An evil gal who wants to rule the world. She threw a few things in her purse, and in her rocket ship she hunts him all across the universe.
Her evil plan is exactly the same.
I'll send him cheesy movies, the worst I can find. He'll have to sit and watch them all, and I'll monitor his mind.
So, same format, different channel, different villain. Since Trace Bialo left the show, Bill Corbett came in to voice Tom Servo. To serve as Pearl's lackey, we got this orangutan.
Orangutan? I am not an orangutan, no. I am a mountain gorilla. My name is Bobo, Professor Bobo, son of Coco, and heir to the lineage of Dodo, Bogo, and Chim Chim.
Yeah, he's played by Kevin Murphy. Bill Corbett, along with Tom Servo, also played Observer, aka Brain Guy, who also later joins up with Pearl. It was also around this time that the show had its two main conventions called Convention Con Expo Festorama and Convention Con Expo Festorama 2 Electric Boogaloo. Unfortunately, before Season 8 ended, the show took yet another hit. Episode 814 was Jim Mallon's final episode, who was the producer of the show, as well as the voice of Gypsy, so they had to do yet another casting change. Patrick Branstad came in to voice Gypsy, and the show chugged on into its 9th season. Season 9 kicked off March 1988. At this point, the entire original cast had left the show. And unfortunately, to my everlasting sadness, the seasons had now been shortened to 13 episodes rather than 24. But regardless of everything that the show did, character changes, set changes, channel changes, everything, the show still went on into one final season, and that was Season 10. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I said there were 11 seasons. Well, the season that was aired on KTMA wasn't technically considered a season. That's actually considered Season 0, but I still consider it Season 1. Season 10, or Season 11, began its run on April 11th, 1999 with Soul Taker. This was more or less the one episode that everyone went wackos over because TV's Frank made a cameo and Joel came back for an episode. Joel didn't actually go in the movie theater, but he was present during the host segments and the fans went absolutely crazy over it. And well, yeah, I kind of went nuts over it too. Unfortunately, all things bright, shiny, and happy in the universe have to come to an end at some point. And unfortunately, this show came to an end. August 8th, 1999 was episode 1013, which was the last episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. The episode ended with them crashing the satellite of love back on Earth, and then them getting an apartment where they continued to watch horrible movies. There was one missing episode that was later aired for Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders, but this has always been considered the final episode of the series. Reruns continued to air for several years, ending on January 2014. It had then sadly been cancelled, but during its 11 years it produced 197 episodes, a feature film, and so much critical acclaim. The series won a Peabody Award in 1993 and was nominated for 2 Emmy Awards. It was nominated for a Cable ACE Award, and it was listed as one of Time Magazine's 100 Best TV Shows of all time. After it was canceled, the fans once again tried to bring the show back, but this was unfortunately unsuccessful. Mike, Bill, and Kevin later went on to do the film crew for its short run, but everyone came back for Dark Star the movie, which was a horrible movie, and it is on my review list. Several of the cast went on to do Cinematic Titanic, but the thing people probably most note them for is riff tracks, which is actually what Mike, Bill, and Kevin continue doing today, and there's actually been live screenings. But is it safe to say that Mystery Science Theater 3000 is dead? Hell no, far from it! The show recently had its 25th anniversary, and it's actually more popular than ever. There's DVDs, websites, a massive fan following, everything. We call ourselves Misties, and that is the actual term. I will allow you to look that up. Actually, very recently, Retro TV stated that this summer they're gonna start airing reruns. And right as we started working on this review, the news feeds exploded with news of an online reboot. Well, here's hoping they do better than the Flash series. But as a whole, the show is just amazing. It ran for 11 years and we absolutely loved it. And we still love it to this day. What started as a simple idea of commenting on movies exploded into what it is now. And despite the rough patches along the way, we absolutely loved it. And again, we still absolutely love it.
The years I spent here on the Satellite of Love were the best damn years of my life, and I wouldn't want you mugs to miss a minute of it.
Really?
Yeah, really. It made a man out of me, and maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, it'll make a man out of you too.
Yeah, that's it.
I can second that, Joel. And these episodes are actually all over the place. You can find them on YouTube if you search Mystery Science Theater 3000. Of course, I do encourage you to get the DVDs because that's just our policy. We can't encourage piracy. But if you really do want to just check this show out, just search it up on YouTube. You can find full episodes there. My name is Hunter, and this has been a Hunter Review.
2, 3, and that's our song. We hope that you enjoyed it. And if you thought that it was stupid and tried, come on and kill us with a forklift. All we wanna do, with love from us to you, is sing the Mystery Alien song.
Ziggy had Garfield neutered. Now that's funny!